Greetings, DF Gents! Exclamation point. EA recently revealed the PC features for Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and the feature set they tout looks mightily impressive. Steam Deck verified, a native Steam app, no EA launcher. Great. Fractional, awesome. Yeah, fractional VSync, support for all upscalers, notably a heavily customized FSR 2.2, dynamic resolution scaling, full ultra-wide, including cutscenes, and a dearth of graphical options. I think he means a wealth. A dearth is like the opposite. Most notably to me was the mention of a quote-unquote suite of ray-tracing features that includes an optional quote-unquote selective mode that only turns on ray-tracing in scenes with the most visual impact. What are your thoughts on this feature? Could this be a no-nonsense way to improve performance in most areas, but visuals where ray-tracing does make... but the visuals are there where ray-tracing does make a notable difference, notable improvement even. Alex, I'm not sure I'm fully on board with that concept.
Yeah.
Because, basically you're looking at a game that's going to operate at a completely different performance level, and then when some pretty ray tracing arrives, the performance would drop.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you think about that and what you think about Veilguard in general. I actually saw it at Gamescom. I thought it looked terrific.
Right. Well, I did not like the original trailer for this game. I was just baffled by it. But since then, they've done a lot to redeem that image with the media they've released, and I feel like it's looking better now. Mm-hmm. I was extremely happy to see that blog post because I've laughed at PC-centric game trailers before, like Halo Infinite's we've got custom key bindings trailer, and I was like, are you serious?
Okay, yeah.
Unlocked
frame rate.
Unlocked frame rate. It's wow, you've done something PC games have always had. This is amazing. Well, yeah, pat yourself on the back for that one. But here, these are special options. I don't think I would use or even recommend the option to turn it on and off RT. Usually, if you like consistent levels of performance between scenes, games already have variable load, but this is an even more intense variable load. So that might not be great for those of you who like those things. But it is also an RPG. So people for RPG games, especially ones where you're interested in the narrative and all that, people do actually, they're fine with that. Worse performance, lower performance, depending upon the scene, especially if you're just supposed to be taking in an area or engaging in conversation somewhere. So I think could be reasonable for some people, but that's definitely not for me. I'm also very curious that the game's using RT reflections and RTAO. Yeah. RTAO we've seen in Battlefield. What is it called? Battlefield 2042? 2042?
2042.
2042. We've seen it there. I think it helped the visuals there. But the last time we saw other ray tracing features in Frostbite, beyond console games, has been really Battlefield 5. And that's when those had RT reflections that were on a very different branch of that engine that were very custom to that game, and it was never ported anywhere else. So this is presumably different RT reflections technology. So I'm very curious to see what that looks like in the end. Also, this is a special ultra setting here just for PC, obviously, and see what that brings to the table. I'm wondering why they aren't using their RTGI solution instead of with RTAO, because they've touted that in the past, public-facing research about it. Maybe the game was developed... Games. Right, yeah. Maybe the game was developed at some point without it, and to change the game's art and just run through an entire game with RTGI would be too much of this game's development cycle, so RTAO makes more sense. There's a lot of reasons for that, obviously, that I have no input in. But yeah, another game to cover that is the amount of RT that is just coming out is ridiculous. The amount of games, I just covered Kong. We're going to be seeing Star Wars Outlaw. There's going to be this game. There's a whole bunch of other RT, really big amounts of RT in the games coming out. And I think just in 2018, after Turing released, I was wondering what the future would look like, and we're starting to arrive there. Yeah. And as we now are mid-gen, I really think with games like Star Wars, Wukong, presumably Indiana Jones, my goodness, we're going to be seeing PC versions that look qualitatively very different than their console counterparts. At least we don't know anything about PS5 Pro, what those versions look like. But, I think that's a great place for PC to be in, because the games are not going to be shackled to being just whatever consoles do. And I always want to see that, because I like seeing tech advance, not every 8 to 10 years or whatever, but, it's nice to see something new every couple of years. So I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oliver?
Yeah, I think Veilguard has a lot of great features on PC, and I hope the fact that they are adding like all the things that he mentioned, like DRS, custom FSR2, tons of graphics options, lots of ray tracing in there. I hope that does mean that the game is coming in pretty well, not coming in too hot like we've seen with a lot of games recently.
Yeah.
The demo they did show off looked quite polished, and they showed off some extended gameplay. They're not scared of that, so that looks pretty good. Like Alex said, the RTAO, which we also saw, I believe, in Dead Space.
Oh, I forgot about that. Thanks.
Yes, Dead Space last year. And the addition of RT Reflections in a Frostbite game, that's certainly very promising. But yeah, I don't really know about this particular idea, because like Alex said, it seems like a way to make the load vary way more, and I just don't think that's what you want. I don't think you want to add inconsistency to the game, just because some graphical features might make more of an impact in some scenes. I really just do not like at all inconsistency in games, so I'd rather have a lower average frame rate than target certain visual features based on the scene. That's my own personal opinion. People can disagree, obviously, but I'm not a fan of that.
Okay. I did actually see it at Gamescom. I think I said that. And it was running on a laptop 4090, and it was looking really good. It was looking really polished. I think that's the good news more generally about the game, is that, it didn't seem to have any sort of obvious issues that you often see with pre-release code for games that are quote unquote coming in hot. The ray tracing did look really, really nice. What can I say? It looked, had a nice presentation about what it's actually doing in any given scene, and it does enhance the game. It does look great. Nice to see Frostbite's hair rendering technology put through its paces there. I just think generally the art direction was fantastic. It just really looked good. It looks like a great game. Very, very promising. In terms of the ray tracing features turning on and off dynamically, which seems to be the idea here, I'm not particularly keen on it. One thing I did notice is that there was, when the scenes were really, I don't even know the resolution it was running at, I suspect 1440p, but when there was a lot of combat effects in play, it did seem to lag a little bit, did seem to slow down, but generally the performance was fine on the demo that I saw as well. So yeah, very, very promising there. I will be interested to see how this selective mode actually works, though. It could maybe be okay for, if you're working with a frame rate cap, possibly. I don't know. And of course, the extent to which it plumbs into those systems like dynamic resolution scaling.